wanted to record this a lot earlier, but I had to delete a bunch of stuff off my phone to make room for this. So that took like an hour. And now it is 1:06 in the morning on, well, I guess it's technically Monday, but it's Sunday night. I think I should probably have some sort of like, I don't know, idea of what I want to say or talk about or something. Maybe in the future, but this is just a test run, I guess. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. Just confused. I don't know. Confused with life. You know? And just wanted to get my thoughts down. I always feel like I look back on old videos of myself and I don't know, it's something that is like really honest or something. It feels like I don't know, like I always look at I always feel like whenever I see videos of myself, I always feel like, man, I wish I would have done that more. Like, man, I wish I would have recorded more during that trip or during that period of my life. I wish I would have written more. So I guess this is just an effort to do that. I have been writing more. I've been writing almost every day, with the exception of like this last week. I've been kind of spotty, but I don't know. I like it. It started out this notebook. Well, I don't know. I had another notebook, and I would just always write like affirmations in it and goals, I guess. Excuse me. And I got another notebook and started to do the same with that, but then somewhere along the line it turned into more of like a journal, and that free writing sort of thing, like making just writing, kind of just spur of the moment, stream of consciousness sort of stuff, I guess. But yeah, lately it's been a lot more journal entry sort of style. But it's cool. I feel like it helps me, I don't know, at least visualize my thoughts, I guess. Helps get them out. Yeah, I've thought about recording like this, making some sort of video vlog, podcast, just, I don't know, journal entry in video form sort of deal, I guess. I've thought about doing it for a while, but just haven't. I think maybe it'd be cool to hook up my condenser mic and get like legit with it. That'd be cool. But maybe this is good enough quality. I don't know. I took like a 10-second video before doing this one and it seemed okay, just audio wise and stuff, but I don't fucking know. Yeah, I had I don't know, just a little bout of inspiration, I guess, tonight. Listening to podcasts I listen to a lot. Johnny Pemberton's podcast. Actually, it's his old one. It's the first one that he did, called Twisting the Wind. And then I was in the supermarket, and it was the weirdest fucking thing. It was like, I had my headphones in, and like listening to this particular episode, literally like mid-episode, and I'm not even I'm not even in my car yet. Sometimes when you get in the car, like, for whatever reason, the Bluetooth switching from my headphones to my car will like trip it up and it'll go to the next track or the next podcast or something. But I hadn't even like unlocked my car yet, and it just randomly, I don't know, maybe I hit like next or something in my pocket by accident, but it went to the next podcast, and then I was listening to this ad for this, like, because it's the beginning of like another episode, you know, the first 30 seconds is always an ad, and so it was this ad for another podcast, and it sounded really intriguing. It sounded really intriguing, and I don't know, this it was like, what the hell was it called? Fuck. Emil Amos? Yeah. It was like process of individuation. Sorry, this is really super annoying, probably. But my cell phone is leaned up against my laptop, so that's that. Dawn of Individuation. And yeah, the ad was just this dude like talking about this, you know, first episode of season 3 of his podcast, Dawn of Individuation, and it was like, the synopsis of it was, he said something like, the point in your life where you could, I guess, point to where things changed for you, or where you started to come into your own, or something like that. And so naturally my interest was piqued, and I was like, what does that mean? Is that like some sort of a sign or something? And I look at my phone, and now at this point I'm like, I had unlocked my car and gotten into my car, and I look at my phone to see what the fuck's going on, because I don't know if it's like another podcast entirely, or if like it just went to the next episode, whatever. So I look at it, and it's 11:11, and I'm like, man, sometimes what's going on here? And so I look it up, Dawn of Individuation, and find this dude's podcast. It's called Emil Amos Drifter's Sympathy. And I think it's actually 2 guys. I started to listen to it. It was kind of weird, and I'm not sure if I'm actually really that into it, but I don't know. Yeah, Emil Amos, and oh yeah, so his co-host is Jonah Bayer, and it's weird because over the 2 of them talking back and forth, it's like this weird music like played under them talking, and it's sort of like the sort of music that plays in like a thriller or some sort of like suspense show or movie, um, to sort of build intrigue and build suspense. And but that's like the entire fucking conversation, like this like ambient piano like sort of music in the background. um, so it kind of naturally builds interest, I think. um, but I don't know, like 2 minutes into it I was like, wait, is this actually interesting, the shit that they're talking about, or is it all just a fucking facade with this music? Am I being tricked? So I don't fucking know. I gotta give it more of a shot. Uh, Jesus Christ. So the whole fucking point of me even talking about this was, I don't know. They touched on the the etymology of the word nostalgia, and Jesus, what was it? It was like it was something like Nosta and Algia, or no, like the two parts of the word were broken up, and it was something to do with like your home and missing home, or different different languages had different, like Russians had a different word for it that basically meant like homesick or whatever. Um, but it was all sort of like a negative connotation to it, or negative definition to the word. Like nostalgia. It was like the death of home or something, or I forget. But it was intriguing because nostalgia is intriguing, and can fuck you up, I guess. Can I don't know. But man, my brain does not work right now. But I guess listening to that episode, they were talking about nostalgia, and at what point in your childhood, or at what point in your life did you kind of become, I guess, self-aware or self-critical? Um, you know, one of the guys was saying at one point it turned from him hanging out with his friends and just not even thinking about it, having a good time, to, you know, one day in 6th or 7th grade, he felt this sort of like undercurrent of unease, sort of like, oh wait, I'm actually not cool, or he didn't really feel like he was as cool as the other guys in his friend group, or he didn't really fit in. And I guess his point was that never goes away, that you always kind of feel that, and I don't know, that resonated a little bit. I feel like a lot of people feel that way, like they don't fit in. And it's weird because it's like such a construct, like such a thing that you build up in your mind of like how you should be, person you should be, or the person that you think your friends want you to be, or some shit. Or society wants you to be, or something. Yeah, you build up like this other character that you think you should be fitting into, but you're not. You don't feel like you fit that mold. And you're the one that built the fucking mold. Like, I guess you can point to your friends or your family or whoever, your teachers or whatever, that kind of influenced you to thinking that you need to be this way or whatever, but you, at the end of the day, you're the one that built up that image, that mold. One thing that I remember too, I was like kind of going in and out of listening to it. One thing that I remember though is I'd gotten home already and I was still listening to it here in the studio, and one of the guys was saying that I think it was a song that sort of triggered this realization for him, but it was like he realized like, wow, what if art isn't what I think it is? What if art isn't supposed to look cool or be cool? What if art is literally that thing that you're going through at that point in time in your life, and not what you think you should be saying or doing or sounding like? How you think your friends want you to sound, sort of thing. Like, what if art is literally just the realness, the representation of how you are, how you actually are? Because that's the truth. That's the good shit. And I don't know. I think all of that sort of just kind of made me want to record this and I don't know, start to look at doing that regularly. And like I said, maybe I'll get like ideas down and write them down so it's more of a cohesive, flowing sort of, I don't know, video ideas or something. Because right now I'm still like in my head about how this is sounding, if I even want to upload this. And what if I upload this and then I don't stick with it? It's just a random fucking video that's on my YouTube, and I don't know. Then what? Then what are people gonna think? Oh, he just did that one. What a fucking loser, weirdo. Man. It's whatever. I don't know. Maybe I won't. Maybe I won't make up fucking points to talk about and just do this. Maybe that'd be cool. What else? I need, man. quick little synopsis. You know, I forgot. Well, first of all, fuck me. I've told this story before, but never on video format, never in a digital format. Fuck, it's a somewhat of a long story, but I'll truncate it. I'll trim it, trim the fat, or at least try to the best of my ability. Fuck. Okay, so I was going to see the filming of a Dana Carvey show, with my ex, Courtney, and man, I have no idea why we even wanted, like, why we decided to go to this filming. I'm sure it was her idea. I don't think I had been to any sort of TV show filming before in LA, and I'd lived here for a year at this point, I think, somewhere around a year, and so I think we just signed up online, and you don't even know what the fuck, like, you're gonna be asked to participate in or, like, asked to go see, but they emailed us, and then we go to this. Wow, I'm so not trimming the story at all, but we long story longer, we go to this fucking TV studio to see this show that Dana Carvey is starting to film, and it's for, like, USA Network or some shit, and man, we get there, and there's these two producers that we're standing in line, like, all of, like, the paid studio audience. When you're in some shows, not all shows, but when you're in when you're participating as, like, part of the audience, some shows will pay you literally, like, $10 an hour, $20 an hour, or something like that, or maybe it's like a flat rate. I forget. I think every show kind of differs, but I think this one was, like, I don't know, flat rate of like $40 or something, even maybe 20. I don't fucking know. But we go, and all of us audience members, I guess, are standing outside, and they ask you to, like, dress nice and shit, and so everybody's, like, wearing, like, button-ups and sweaters and shit. It's really weird, and it's like everybody's, like, wearing interview clothes almost, and so I think I had a fucking sweater on or some shit, and they tell you to, like, leave your phone in your car, because they're gonna take it away from you if you don't, or some shit. Like, some places actually do that, so you can't record or take pictures or, like, screw up the filming, basically. So I left my phone in Courtney's car, but then ended up needing it because these two producer girls, back to the producer girls, so they're, like, producers. I put the air quotes because they're, like, maybe 22. I'm, like, I think 25 at the time, and they're just, like, very young, and you could tell it was, like, their second time doing this. And one of them has a clipboard, and she's, like, walking through the line of us, and she's like, yeah, so does anybody, like, do impressions here? Does anybody here? And fucking Courtney was like, raise my hand for me, and it was not a good time. Sorry, I'm just realizing I don't really want to tell this story, but whatever, I'll breeze through the last part of it. Basically, she makes me say yes, and I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, why not, I'll do this. and then I realized I can't even look up any good, like, on the spot impressions to do because I don't have my fucking phone, because I left it in the car that's parked like a half a mile away. And all these people are doing like pretty cool impressions. Everybody's like a fucking stand-up or like an actor, like aspiring actor or something. And I'm just chilling. Like I'm not a fucking comedian. I'm not like an actor or an aspiring actor or anything. But man, this one like black dude, short, bald, black dude, like does Jim Carrey, but Jim Carrey from In Living Color. The what was it? Oh shit. The burn victim. What the fuck was that name? It was like Fire Marshal Bill. And he's like, hey, you know, something. And he had the neck down and the eye, and he had it like down. And I could probably do a pretty good one, but man, this guy stole Jim Carrey from me, basically, because he went before I did. And I was like, fuck, I can't do Jim Carrey now, because this dude's doing them. And so I was like, I guess I could do, I'll still do Jim Carrey, I'll do something from Dumb and Dumber. And so I was like, I did the scene from the van when he's like, Lloyd, what did he say? He's like, Lloyd, you sold my dead bird to a blind kid? Petey didn't even have a head. And Jim Carrey's like, yeah. And I did that whole bit after watching it on this black dude that did Jim Carrey's Fire Marshal Bill. I like borrowed his cell phone to watch that scene. Oh, so uncomfortable. It's so cringy looking back on that whole experience. So I did that one. They're like, oh, that's funny, that's good. What else you got? And I'm like, I don't know, I could do De Niro. And I was like, hey, I got that boots, Greg. Could you milk me? And I did this fucking thing. And they're like, oh, wow, yeah, you should do that. Okay, because he's doing Jim Carrey. You should do that. You're, like, very physical. It's all in the face. Cool, awesome, great. So, they fucking take our names down. And we do the whole, like, they filmed the entire show. And who's there? Dana Carvey's there. Freddie Prinze Jr. is the fucking host of the show randomly. And all he kept doing, this fucking kind of pissed me off, low-key. You have to watch these people, like, film the actual show. So if they, like, flub a line or, like, they fuck something up, you literally have to watch them do, like, all 3, all 4, all 5 takes of that thing, whatever it is. Freddie Prinze Jr., I mean, he's profesh, but he fucking would do this all the time. He'd look at the camera and he goes, we're back. I'm Freddie Prinze Jr. And he was always doing this toward the camera, at the camera. Like, oh, hey. I think trying to build excitement or something. And I don't know if somebody told him to do that or if he was like naturally thought that was like a good idea. I don't know. It was low-key kind of annoying, but Freddie Prinze Jr., back to that. He's the host. Have to watch him rub his hands at the camera a million times and say, and we're back. Our next bit is to do this or whatever. It was called, I think, First Impressions with Dana Carvey. And it was basically a game show where they would have impressionists come on and battle to see like who was best, I guess. And there's this one kid that was like great, probably like straight out of performance arts school, and one sort of like washed up comedian dude that was like mid 40s, I feel like. And wow. So, sorry about that. I ran out of storage on my phone, so I needed to upload that video and then delete it or whatever. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so basically there were three impressionists, this young kid, old washed up dude, and then this woman. And yeah, they competed. Oh, didn't even say this part. So we got, to reiterate, from the top, we got Dana Carvey, host. Where is he? 15 feet away from me, because I'm at one of the little cocktail tables, and they have like the studio audience and like the regular, like, I guess, bleacher seats. I think it was literally like a bleacher, and set up in this like TV studio. So you have most of the audience sitting in these fucking bleacher seats, and then you have like maybe 10, I don't know, maybe a little less, maybe like 8 cocktail tables set up in front of the stage, and they sat down all of the impressionists that were to do the impressions, all of the audience members, I should say, that were the impressionists, set them up all at the cocktail tables. So it was cool because we got like front row seats. So Dana Carvey, 15 feet away from me, not even. Freddie Prinze Jr., right up in my grill, rubbing his hands. The three impressionists on stage that are competing. And then Dana Carvey's special guest for the evening, Steve Carrell. What? I'm not like a huge, like, you know, fanboy. I don't fanboy out when, you know, I see the LA, like, celebs and all of that. But, I mean, Steve Carell. And, I don't know, it was just cool. Like, they started talking, like, I don't know, just catching up and stuff on stage together, Dana Carvey and him. They were like talking about like their old skits from, I want to say it was Kids in the Hall, but I don't think it was. No, it was Dana Carvey's show back in the day. I don't fucking remember. Maybe it was literally called the Dana Carvey Show. I don't know. But they were talking about one of the skits on there that they did with Colbert, and I had seen it and I remembered it. Nobody else there knew what the fuck they were talking about. Steve Carell looked around like, does anybody, what? What? Because it's like they were getting into this story, and I don't know, he looked around and he was like, yeah, you guys remember that one? Crickets. I was like, yeah, I remember that shit. Cause it was like it was a skit where Steve Carell and Colbert are like the waiters or like busboys at a restaurant, and Stephen Colbert is reading off the specials for the evening, but for whatever reason, like all of the specials are making him gag. Totally like regular, like, yes, tonight we have a chicken piccata, breaded and lightly breaded with caper lemon sauce, but the entire time he's reading it or reciting it, he's like, yes, tonight we have a chicken piccata with lightly breaded and a lemon caper sauce. Steve Carell by the end of it is like like dry heaving. about to like puke, and it was a fucking funny skit, but they were referencing that, and nobody knew what the fuck they were talking about, except this guy. And so anyway, fuck, long story, even longer. Basically, I thought I was gonna be able to go to some like booth, I think. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought I was gonna go to some green room, some back room, where it'd be like me and maybe those like two producer girls with the clipboards and maybe like a camera guy. And I thought that it was like gonna be that sort of setup where it's like, okay, do your impression for the camera, and that was it. I thought that's what the setup was gonna be, and it wasn't at all. Instead, they told us that they probably would do the impressions, the filming of them, during the commercial breaks or at some point throughout the filming. Like they would break up the filming, have a break, do the impressions, and then finish filming. Nope, they filmed the whole fucking show, start to finish, and then they said, well, I think that about wraps it. So we have the impressionists from the audience. We're gonna get to see those. Let's do those. So now, the young kid from theater school ended up winning. So now we have the impressionists on stage. Dana Carvey and Steve Carrell sitting over there on this love seat, and then Freddie Prinze Jr. on another seat, like joining them. And they're like literally 10 feet away, and then they call us all up and we line up. Naturally, I'm the last in line, and all the impressionists from the audience go before me, and we just sit down at one of the cocktail tables, one by one, and this guy with the fucking camera, big goofy camera, right up in my face, just goes, yes, just say your name, the city you're from, and then just go into it. So I have to follow everybody, and it was like a do or die, sink or swim, fight or flight sort of scenario where it's like, you gonna do it, Sean? You gonna step up? You gonna step up to the challenge and do this? Man, I guess I stepped up, but I did not fucking deliver because I choked so hard. It was like everybody got a pretty good laugh, but meanwhile, here's me looking at the camera straight on, and the entire studio audience is behind me, so they can see the back of my head. And that was the case with everybody. It's like all they could see was this person's back of their head, and you had a fucking microphone in your hand. And so the audience that's gauging the performance, that's gauging the impression, is gauging it off of how much you sound like that person. Oh man, there was one girl that did Miley Cyrus, and she sucked, but she just like kind of owned it, I guess. Like she owned the fact that it sucked, and just like stuck her tongue out and like did the peace sign and shit, and people just like gave her a sympathy laugh, I feel like. And one guy, I don't know, they all did like pretty good jobs, but it was like it was based off of how much you sounded like the person. And I don't sound like Robert De Niro. And that's all I did was Robert De Niro. And I fucking... Oh, the other thing was that I fucking stuttered the line. It was supposed to be from Meet the Parents, I got nipples, Greg. Could you milk me? And oh my God, I'm re-remembering it now. Oh man, I looked at the camera. I think I said Boston too, like a fucking dork. Yeah, because I'm from Boston. I'm from Boston. And I looked at the camera and I was like, I'm Sean, from Boston, and I'm gonna do Robert De Niro. And then I just go, and meanwhile, fucking Freddie Prinze, Steve Carrell, and Dana Carvey are all like this. They're all like fucking 10, not even 10 feet away. Like literally hands on their, like face on their hands, like, ready? Okay, let's see it. Let's fucking see it. And they're literally in my peripheral. Like, I'm staring at the camera straight on, and they're right there. I can feel their eyes on me. And what the fuck was I supposed to do? The fucking best, unrehearsed impression of Robert De Niro? Yeah, okay. I say, I'm Sean McKenna from Boston. I'm gonna do Robert De Niro. And I just do. And I blank. I have no idea what the fuck the line is. I have no idea what I'm even saying or doing or why I'm doing it. And all I can do, I'm thinking it's gonna come to me too. I'm like, oh, just give it a second, Sean. Just give it a second. It'll come. So I fucking look at the camera for an uncomfortably long time. Probably a solid 6 seconds, 7 seconds before I decide to even say anything. So I'm doing this. And then I go, forgot what I was gonna say. What? Robert De Niro doesn't sound like that. Who sounds like that? Forgot what I was gonna say? What? It's like no one, that's not even any, that's no one. What is that voice? I was like, but this is what an Italian guy sounds like, right there? Forgot what I was gonna say. And it was so fucking bad. Naturally, it came to me. I've got nipples, Greg. Could you milk me? That's not how it came out. No. I forgot what I was gonna say. And then, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. I've got nipples, Greg. Could you milk me? The camera guy's like, is that it? Like, he didn't say that, but it was just like, I guess that's it. Okay. And the audience didn't know what to fucking do. It's like, there was a clear, like, beat to everybody else's impression, where it's like, I'm this person, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do Miley Cyrus, and I'm Miley, what's up? And then, okay, great. Next. And then the Fire Marshal Bill guy, he's like, and you know something else, is when you find yourself walking around, and then you find yourself doing this. And everybody's like, oh, that's funny, I kind of remember that. But probably not, because I'm only like 20. And everybody had a beat. Everybody had a point where they stopped, and the audience just naturally gave them a little bit of a clap. Not the case. Not the case for me. Nobody knew what the fuck was going on, especially me. It was bad. It was really fucking bad. I mean, it was an experience to say the least, but fuck, man. That Fire Marshal Bill dude. That dude so smug. Like, he knew my name from like from the start when the producer chicks were like asking, you know, for impressionists or whatever. So we talked briefly and he knew my name was Sean. And at the end, when all the filming's done, we get our like little envelope with $20 in it or whatever. We're fucking hoofing it back to the parking lot. This fucking shit eater goes, "Yeah, what the fuck, Sean? You fucking fell apart back there." And I'm like, "Fuck you. Yeah, I know. Yeah." It's like, you... Courtney stood up for me a little bit and she was like, "He already feels like shit. Like, why would you do that?" And it's like, yeah, why would you? Why? What are you gaining? You feel better for for pointing that out to me, man? Like, yeah, I know I fucking blew that. But like, I don't know. In the moment, it really sucked, but I look back at it now like, fuck it, whatever. Like, it happened, and now it's a story. Now it's a fucking 35-minute long story. And, whatever. If I ever meet Steve Carrell or Dana Carvey in person, I can tell him that story and be like, "You probably don't remember this, but there was a time." That'd be hilarious if they did remember it, but they definitely wouldn't. Oh man, that was rough. But man, I said this before, I want to just... I guess I'm grateful for that experience, because like, it pushed me outside of my comfort zone. Yeah, I sucked at it and didn't rise to the occasion of performing in front of these guys. But like, I don't know how that's not an everyday occurrence. That's not an everyday occurrence that you get to do something like that. And yeah, it'd be cool if I was more relaxed in front of a camera, or more relaxed just in general when people expect me to perform or want me to or whatever. That's like a huge downfall, I guess, of mine, is that like, I get really fucking nervous or in my head when I'm like put on the spot like that. So yeah, I don't know. I really want to try doing some stuff like that, like open mics and comedy open mics, just to fucking do it. I got to. I went to Republic of Pie the other night. This cafe in North Hollywood, and I used to work there. Like, I didn't work there, but I used to take my laptop there and work. And almost every day, pretty much every day, for like months, a few months. And I don't fucking know this dude's name. The guy behind the counter is the chillest, coolest dude. And I don't know his name. He knows my name. He remembered my name. I haven't been there. It's 2019. I haven't been there since like summer of 2017, like regularly. Like I've been there for like a little nightcap, a little coffee or some shit, but I haven't been there to like work since, yeah, like over 2 years. And I walk in and he's like the first dude I see, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "Good." Or he said, what did he say? He's like, "Excuse me." Maybe he said, "Excuse me" or something. I was like, "Oh." And he saw me and he's like, "How's it going, Sean?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Good." What do you say? I'm so fucking awkward in public, in social interactions. I'm like, "Good. Don't know your name. Sup?" Could have commented on the fact that you remembered my name. Could have been like, "Whoa, you remember me?" Could have been like, "Oh man, long time no see." But I just say, "Good." Cool story, Sean. Cool story, Sean. Cool story, Sean. Cool story, Sean. Oh man. Anyway, I got a latte and a couple macaroons, and I sat in the corner there, and there was this girl playing guitar and singing, and she was really fucking good, and I don't know her name. And then I looked on Republic of Pie's like Instagram to see if they had posted like, "Oh, tonight at open mic, this person, this person, this person," and they did, but it was some other chick who I didn't see while there, and then some other dude who I also didn't see. So they didn't post everybody that was there that night, but she was really good, and it was really inspiring, because she seemed just so fucking comfortable. She was just like, even just the energy of her playing her guitar, like whenever I fucking play, I get so in my head that I'm gonna fuck up the timing or like the strumming, that lo and behold, I fuck up the timing and the strumming. And it's like, it's not just like flowing, it's, I turn like mechanical just anytime that I have any sort of like audience or whatever. And she was just so in it and just like relaxed, and it was just soothing. Yeah, and it was just, I was like, man, I want to have that effect on people. I want to have that effect on like people that, you know, they feel my relaxation through my voice, through the guitar. Like they feel that energy. You know what I mean? I want to have that effect on people. And then the added like lyrical component to it was fucking sweet. It's just like, I don't know. I tried writing after, and I couldn't fucking write. My mind was just like all over the place. This was last night. And yeah, last night I was just really fucking lonely. And I don't know, I just felt bad for myself, I guess. I don't know, it was Zippy's birthday, and her and Becca ended up going to some party, just the two of them, and I don't know, I thought we were gonna hang out, and we didn't. So I ended up just walking around Los Feliz, and sat at a bar by myself and had a couple beers by myself, and it was just low-key kind of depressing, and I don't know, it really wasn't, but I just, in the moment, it felt like it was, I guess. Looking back, I'm like, no, it's just a regular night. Didn't have to feel that way or whatever, but I was hyper aware that I was alone. And everybody else in the bar was like together with someone. So, whatever. I left there and went to Republic of Pie. That place is fucking awesome. It's like the most coziest, like most northeast feeling place that I know, I think, around here, like in LA. There's that one place, I think it's Fratelli's or Fratello's or some shit. Fratelli Cafe? I think, yeah. That's kind of similar vibe, but so damn. That second video cut off because my battery died, or whatever, my phone died. Man. So this is actually the following night or something. Actually, no, that was, I think, 2 nights ago that I recorded those other ones, but man, I don't even know. I think I'm gonna just start a whole new recording right now. But I wanted to wrap this one up with something, I guess. Man, what was I talking about? Cafes, being lonely. Yeah. It's cool. I don't want to repeat myself, so I think I'm just gonna end it here. And maybe skim through it so I don't repeat myself tonight with whatever I said the other night. So that's it. First installment of this series, whatever it will be. I just got this like hookup thing for my laptop to hopefully hook up my microphone, my condenser mic to my new laptop. So but maybe I'll just stick with this. Maybe I'll just stick with doing the video through this. This is probably less complicated and whatever. It's not, it doesn't have to be a thing. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying anymore. This is good. This is good enough for now. So if it needs to evolve, it will. Cool story, Sean. Cool story, Sean. This is Sean, signing off.